Hello friends, colorful welcome to all of you once again. So today we will going to start a new chapter, motion in a one dimensional motion, motion in a straight line. So actually it is a part of kinematics. Okay, what is kinematics? Kinematics means the study of motions or motional object where we are not taking into account the cause of the force or cause of the motion. So without taking account the cause of motion. That means which force, due to which force or under which force the body is moving, or whatever it's moving, in which direction it is moving, does not known to you, is not known to you, and it is not important here. Okay, so as it is one directional motion, it is easy. Actually the kinematics, where the words comes from a Greek word, it's called motion, and another part of kinematics, another is dynamics. So we will study it later. Dynamics is here we will not neglect the okay, cause of motion. Okay, this also this word also comes from Greek word dynamis. It's probably dynamis, which means power. Dynamis, which means power. Okay, and kinema, from kinema it comes from, kinema means motion. Okay, and these two is for just extra knowledge. So next we will just actually you are familiar with this chapter. Here we will just consider the simple equations or common equations which we used or which we are familiar to use in one directional motion. Suppose v equal to u plus at. Okay, and then v square equal to u square plus 2s, then s equal to ut plus half at square, and so on. Okay, before going to that, first we will discuss about distance and displacement. Okay, the two terms, they are almost similar, but there is a cons. What is the difference? The displacement is a vector quantity and distance is a scalar quantity. And one more things here, in case of one dimensional motion, displacement is same as distance. Here it is displacement magnitude. Okay, displacement, and it is distance. S is written as distance. Why it is same? Because if a body moves from here to here, it's along a straight line, so A to B, so the distance between A and B and the displacement between A and B is same, because it moves along a straight line. So we are measuring the distance along a straight line, and we know the least distance is displacement, and least distance always measured along a straight line. That's why they are same. Okay, so we will not differ the displacement and distance here. Only for the basics knowledge we can say that they are different, and D can be written as like that, and S cannot be written like with arrow, because it's scalar and it's vector. Okay, on the later chapter we will come to know what is vector, what is scalar. Now come to velocity. Okay, velocity is distance by time. That means the rate of change of displacement by time. The rate of change of displacement with respect to time is known as velocity. Okay, and speed. Okay, speed is known as okay, we can say it's s, or speed u. Let's make it u. Okay, not that u. Okay, they are different, it is different. Okay, so s by t. Look at that, as displacement is vector quantity, velocity also become a vector quantity. But as speed is a scalar distance is a scalar quantity, speed is also a scalar quantity. Then comes acceleration. It's velocity by time. Okay, So they are just basics, you already know about that, but here you will know about two terms. What is that? One is average velocity or average speed. Average value of velocity. What is average value of velocity? It means this distance over time, but over a certain period of time. What is certain period of time? Suppose you are going point A to B. Point A to B. Okay. Then you just go another point C. Now if you say to A to B the distance is x, and you go another small distance which can be written as del x, very small distance, then we can say from B to C. Okay, so the velocity, we know the velocity is displacement by time or the rate of change of displacement by time. So in the BC position we can say that the rate of change of displacement is x plus del x minus x. How? Because on B you just go for only x displacement, okay, or x distance, and to B to C you just cover x plus del x distance. So in the region BC you just cover only del x distance. So the change within time del t, suppose for x distance you cover t time, and for B to C it takes del t time. So the time will also be, so it is actually, average velocity is actually nothing but the okay, we are just taking magnitude here, okay, just nothing but the change of displacement in a certain amount of finite time. Look at the time, it is small but it is finite, not infinitely small. Okay, what if this time is infinitely small? If this time is infinitely small, then we will say Vi. What is Vi? It is instantaneous velocity or instant velocity. Instantaneous velocity. I know this term is quite new to you. This term is already heard you already at the lower level, class 9, 10th level, but that instantaneous velocity is required for you now. So what I said, if del t becomes infinitely small, very very small, almost tends to 0, negligible, then this velocity becomes instantaneous velocity. That's mean in a moment, the change of position, the change of distance or displacement in a moment. So we can say the limiting value of del t, which is 0, tends to 0. I say del t is very small, almost negligible, or tends to 0. Then the change of displacement with respect to time is known as instantaneous velocity. Okay, similarly for acceleration, you can write the average acceleration is, okay, the average acceleration you can write, or a dash or a acceleration is del v by del t. Simple. Again you can write the instantaneous acceleration. How? You can just put it instantaneous acceleration. Okay, not write that sign because we are taking the magnitude only. So as the sign, why we are not taking into account the vector quantity or vector sign? Because all are moving in a straight line, so in a unidirectional motion, so we need not to mention direction every time. So we already seen that A to B, it's always A to B. Okay, the direction is always A to B, it's moving in that direction, so always A to B. So it doesn't need to write every time the direction. So instantaneous velocity is limit del t tends to 0, del v del t. So in short form, every time in the numerical application you cannot write limit it that, so we can shortly write it dx dt. From mathematical concept of differentiation, you may be familiar with differentiation, but to introduce that concept of differentiation or to aid the numerical purpose, we just apply or we just introduce this concept of instantaneous velocity and instantaneous acceleration. That is the reason why the instantaneous velocity and acceleration is very important, because we can easily differentiate the equation, and we can, on the application part, we will see how we can easily find out the acceleration velocity by just using differentiation or integration. Okay, later on. Now we will move to that equations. They are uniform motion equation in one dimensional. Now we will try to prove them. Okay, how to prove them? Okay, if in any standard books, you will I will suggest you to follow any standard books. They are most probably the graphical approach is shown, and somewhere it's derivational approach or differentiation approach is also mentioned, but I will prefer you go through differentiation. For those kind of proof, go through differentiation, because it is more technically correct, or it is more efficient actually. Okay, and I will show you the differentiation approach, and for graphical approach I will suggest you to refer any standard books. Okay, any books. So here v equal to u plus at. So you have to know what are the parameters. V is known as final velocity. V is known as final velocity. U known as initial velocity. N is known as acceleration, and T known as time. Okay. Now to prove that, we will just apply our basic sense. What is our basic sense? What we know from the equation of velocity. So what is velocity? We know velocity equal to the first derivative of just distance or displacement. We can write dx dt. And what is the what is acceleration? Acceleration is dv dt. So from that equation we can say, from that equation we can write dv equal to a dt. Okay, and for the motion, it is a uniform acceleration motion. That means a is constant. Uniform acceleration motion. So uniform acceleration motion means, for all cases the value of acceleration is, or the magnitude of acceleration is constant. So to find out the velocity, here it is a small change in velocity, but we have to find out the actual velocity or final velocity, right? So to do it, it is a differential equation. We will just integrate both the side. If such situation appears, a differential equations, we just integrate it and find the values. So we will integrate it. dv a dt. Now look, dv. How dv change? dv change initial velocity to final velocity. Right? I said that dv is the change in velocity. So change in velocity is initial to final. So it is u to v. It is called lower limit and it is called upper limit. Okay. From definite integral, I know it is quite hard for class 11 to know about the definite integral, but I will say for the age of numerical purpose, just learn the some basic portion of differential, definite integral and indefinite integral and differentiation. These three part. Okay, for physics I need integration or integral, definite integral, basics of integral. Okay, not the all detailed applications whichever in 12, whichever in 11. I need the suitable concept for the application purpose on the physics. Okay, differentiation, so as acceleration is constant, it will, okay, first here we put the limit, here we have to put the limit. Now a is constant, a is not varying, so integral will not consist any of a, but dt is varying. So how dt is varying? When t is 0, then this is initial velocity. So at t equal to 0, the initial velocity is 0. Now at t equal to time t, the final velocity is v. So the lower limit will be t equal to 0 and t equal to t. Now integrate it. Now we know the integration of dv is v. Put here, and the lower limit will be u, upper limit will be v, and the a will come here, and the integration of dt will be t only, and its lower limit is 0, upper limit is t. So how to put limit, lower limit and upper limit? It's easy. From this part we will just put the upper limit first. Instead of v we will put v, and to put u we will provide a minus sign and put u. Again same for here. First we will put the upper limit t minus lower limit 0. So v equal to, u will go on the next right hand side, u plus 80. Look at that equation. We have to just prove that equation. It is proved. Okay. It's actually easy. I have to explain you. That's why it takes 4 or few more lines. Okay. You can just make it as short within 2 or 3 minutes. It's easy. But the graphical approach is more time consuming. That's why I just, for the video purpose, I just neglect it. Okay. So next we will prove a is equal to ut plus half at square. So we know v equal to dx dt. Okay. Okay. Just x is referred here as. Okay. So both are distance. So dx will be v dt. Right. It's easy. Now what can we write? We can put dx. So why we know this v is final velocity, from here v equal to u plus 80. So we can put u plus 80. Now dt will be just multiplied in both the sides. We just substituted v by u plus 80. Okay, that's all. Now again just make a integral dx u dt plus a t dt. Okay, again put limit. When t is equal to 0, the time is varying from t equal to 0 to t. Here also t equal to 0 to t. So when t equal to 0, the distance covered is 0, because at time 0 you cannot cover any distance. Now at t equal to t, you covered s distance. So we put s distance here. Now, so it will come x is 0, u is constant, integration of dt is t. Okay, so it will be 0 to t plus integration of t. Here integration of t, a constant, integration of t is t square by 2. How it comes, I just show by the formula. Okay, integration formula is there. The integration of x to the power n dx equal to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1, provided n cannot be minus 1. Because if n is minus 1, the integration part becomes infinite or undefined. So integration cannot be done. That's why n cannot be minus 1. So n can be any other values apart from minus 1. So here see t to the power 1. So put t instead of x. So t to the power 1 means, in case of n we can write 1. So if n equal to 1, then t to the power 2 by 2. n plus 1 it will 2. So I write t to the power 2 by 2. Okay. So here s minus 0 equal to ut minus 0 plus a t square by 2 minus 0. So look at that. It just led to you the equation. Okay, here I write it. So it led to the equation a is equal to ut plus half 80 square. So it's proved. Okay. Next, we'll move to the next one. So next one is v square equal to u square plus 2as. So to prove that, we will consider, we know acceleration is, wait, so to prove that we will consider the acceleration. What is acceleration? We know dv dt, right? Change of velocity with respect to change in time. Okay, although it is instantaneous acceleration, but to find out using differentiation or integration, we will just using the instantaneous acceleration. Okay, now look at the equation. Here only a and v, but the above equation which we have to prove consists of s also. So we have to anyhow create a s or x distance. So how to create it? Just put a dx, right? It's called chain rule. Okay, although in such form it is not a proper way to write, but it's called chain rule. Okay, I am just showing the chain rule. So then a equal to dv dx, 1d, this dx just go under dv, so dv dx, 1 dx there and dt remain, so dx dt. Now look at this dx dt. You know that dx dt means the velocity, right? So we can write acceleration equal to dx dt means velocity and dv dx. Now look at that equation. V is there, a is there, x is there, which will lead to you s. So this is a differential equation, so dx will go on that right part. Okay, we just multiply it, a dx equal to v dv. Now a is constant for the acceleration, v is constant with respect to, sorry, v is changing with dv, so integrate it. Okay, now as initial velocity is u, we know u initial velocity, final velocity v, initial distance is 0 when the initial velocity u and the final distance is s. So acceleration into the differentiation, the integration of dx is x. Okay, so x and 0 s, right? It will make it like that, and v dv, it will come v square by 2, as same like the previous case, u v, right? So it will lead a into s minus 0, and v square by 2, it will come v square by 2 minus u square by 2. Now these two can be multiplied here, so we can say 2as equal to v square minus u square. If minus u comes in that part, so we can write v square equal to u square plus 2as. So that is proved. So look at that process, it's very easy. Okay, more than easy, it is fast. Okay, rather than using graphical method. That's why I choose that in the video purpose, so that video length can be small. Okay, otherwise it will be too boring. Okay, I have to explain lot of part. Okay, next we will move to the relative velocity. That is also an important concept and the last concept for the video, relative velocity. And after that video, application video will come. So from there you can easily understand why such problems are required. Okay, now the relative velocity means, suppose if I ask you, you are steady, if you are in the room, okay, sitting on a chair, so if I ask you, you are moving or you are steady, what will you say? You say I am steady. Why? Because you are not moving. But I will say you are not steady. Why? Because you are on the surface of the earth, and the earth is constantly moving around the sun. So we can say we are steady with respect to earth. But if someone sees you from the outside of the earth, then you will say no, you are moving, you are rotating yourself. So the reference frame is needed. So when it is reference frame, the reference frame is earth, as you are moving with the earth, so it's appeared to be steady, you appear to be steady. So that's from that concept the relative terms appears. Okay, from the reference. If with the reference frame you are moving, then it is relative velocity. How? Okay, if a train suppose if you are in a train, if you are moving in that direction, suppose direction A, and if another one is moving on the opposite direction B, and in another case A is moving oppositely and B is moving oppositely. So what will happen? In this case, they will see they are moving with higher velocity. How? And here they will move with lower velocity. How it is so? Because the relative velocity, suppose if you are moving with VA velocity, or A is moving with VA velocity and BB is moving with VB velocity, then the relative velocity between them is related as VA minus VB, the difference between them. So that is the equation of relative velocity. So here B is reference frame. With respect to B, we are just mentioning the relative velocity of A. That's why we are just differentiating the B VB from VA. Okay, so that is the called relative velocity. That's mean difference between velocity. Okay, so why I said in this case relative velocity is greater and in this case relative velocity is lower, because look at that, sorry, I say in that direction. Okay, look at that, they are moving in same direction, so the direction of VA and VB is same, so it appears to be as difference. But in this case VA is left hand direction and VB is right hand direction. So in case of VB, if we take the left hand direction as positive and right hand direction as negative, then it will appear as, in this case it will, the relative velocity will appear as to be VA minus of minus VB, because the direction of VA is just opposite to the VB, so it will appear to be the sum of their velocity. So from theoretical concept, it is very tough to understand the relative velocity. When in application part, I will show you, or I will convince you the relative velocity through the application numerical approach. Okay, that will be easy for you. Okay, so here we end our discussion. Okay, bye for now, see you on the next video.